What's up, Digidestins? This is Kyle D, better known as RideMyAvatar, and today we're going to be talking none other than the ban list. I'm going to give a prediction video because I'm a shill like that, and we're just going to be going from there. Everybody else and their mom's going to be making one as well, so let's see who's actually the closest at the end of the day. So I'm excited to talk about it, so let's get into the video. So first off, let's be straight and frank here. Bandai does not follow English trends as a representation of what's getting hit or not. So when we are going to be talking about this is going to be related to Japanese playing styles, everything like that. They've already can see what's addressing the problem, and we're going to have to address this. Without any further ado, let's talk about everything. I hate when people do bring up the fact, oh, North America, this is the best deck in North... Doesn't matter. Yes, we have a best of 3, they have a best of 1. That does change things up, and that uses their data differently than us. So, let's just take a look here. First off, we can already see that Apocalypticmon, Anubis, and Fenrir are basically the top 3 deck. Then you have Blue, Violet, Garurumon, which is either a mixture of Garurumon, Blue Garurumon, Purple Garurumon, or Bellastar. So that's just what's currently topping. Then you have Shine Greymon following up. And then finally, because of how fast-paced it's gotten, Mirage Gauga has just fallen off. So if we take a look at, let's see, Animal Column here. Let's take a quick look at here. Anubis, Mirage Gaug, Shine Greymon, Blue Purple Garuru, which ends up becoming Bellastar at the end, which is basically these are two combined nearish. Then you have Fang Longmon. We have Shine, Mirage, and Anubis kind of sticking around a little bit. Let's get into Blast Ace environment. So this is the set that we're heading into right now. Let's see where decks are. We have Shine Greymon sitting at top, followed by Mirage Gaug, SOC, Red Black Greymon, and then everybody else kind of just following from there. You notice that Shine Greymon's been kind of relevantly top 4 for a while now in these sets, even going up to Blast Ace. This is 3 sets worth, plus their LM set, so basically 4. And if we go into Mulligan and Training environment, let's take a look at this too. We have Shine Greymon, but Red Black Greymon definitely took ahead because they had their starter and everybody just wanted to switch back into it. Shine Greymon and Mirage still being the top 2 decks. So, but let's get into what might get hit. So Shine Greymon, there's a possibility of a couple hits with it. Do I think Shine's gonna get hit? It's a possibility. Marcus is one of them if they want to kill the deck outright. The deck will basically go down to one of these Punchy Boy Marcuses. The thing about this is it's a free evolution in any category. This isn't like Greymon Digivolve up to the next step, but this is the problem. It comes down to it's any yellow Digimon. It's not restricted to an Agumon or Greymon, so this will always see play in any version that can Digivolve into another Greymon. If you want Geo Greymon for free, you can do that. So, I mean, it has potential here. The card is... A lot of players would just say it's a personal bias against it. If you want to kill the deck, you hit this. This basically obsoletes the deck. It brings it down to 1. It gets a lot tougher to play with 5 Marcuses. The lighter of the 2 hits would keep this Marcus in, and you get rid of the other Marcus that's the Mem Setter if you restrict that one. That's another way of hurting the deck a little bit, but this Marcus just still is a little ridiculous. The free evolution is a huge plus that this deck has, and that's very important. Then you have Geo Greymon here. This thing is going with the release of Patamon. This card plus Gatomon, or this card plus anything else. This card is always going to be mandatory because if you know there's a Tamer in there, because you'll know, you can grab this, Digivolve, play your free Mem Setter or Gainer of some sort, your plus value Tamer, and Geo Greymon will just do that for you. Geo Greymon gets ridiculous this way, and restricting it might help, but this is more of a hit to general yellow, so that consistency isn't there, but I think it's fine because there is the potential of whiffing. There's not always The only decks that really punish for has that many tamers in there would be Yellow Hybrid. There's not enough, so I don't expect this with Geo Greymon. Okay? So, Geo Greymon's a possibility if they want to slow down the yellow good stuff package. Next, let's get into purple. Eismon Scatter Mode and Garurumon X Antibody are definitely on a watch list here. So, Garurumon X Antibody probably is going to go. Surprising, surprise, surprise, it didn't even get a month if it's put on that list, and we'll see follow suit. We always follow suit with the restriction lists. There's nothing we can do about that. We are not separate. We are not, English is never different than JP. It's never happened. It probably won't happen. There's a slight 1% chance that we'll have a different list, but that's a 1% chance, and we don't gamble with 1% chances. So when Digivolving, draw 2, then trash 2 cards in your hand. If you have a Garurumon X Antibodies Digivolution, gain 1 memory. So basically, for free, you gain plus value. This thing has crazy shenanigans on it. It just fine-tuned ridiculously, and it fuels its stuff. So when this Digimon with Garurumon in its name would be deleted by returning 2 non-Digi-Evolution cards to your trash to the bottom of your deck, prevent its deletion. That's a lot. Just to fuel its own condition by drawing 2, discard 2 is huge. Cycling your pieces is valuable. I hate cards that kind of just self-fulfill their own effects and it just gets snowballed ridiculously. Eismon Scatter Mode, yes, in most cases it has jamming, but we're getting to a point where we can just delete these things. Now, beforehand, it was, oh, I swing in, maybe I'll get my draws. Oh no, jamming. It survived. Well, I gotta wait till next turn to kill it. Then I get my draws. Maybe it'll die then. Whoops, nope, it didn't. Well, it's sitting here with jamming. Now we have like the Gizmons. Those cards basically can pop this card to draw even more. It gets ridiculous pretty quickly, and they've over fine-tuned Purple's draw engine to a point where it's unhealthy, in my opinion. So these going down to 1 would actually make Purple players have to play different things. And they do have substitutes. They're weaker draws. But instead of digging this deep, we can't keep having Purple dig this deep in and then just value town off of it. There's too much value good stuff in Purple now with their discards from trash, milling from deck. You know, all these benefits that just happen. So I think restricting these will definitely help alleviate even the apocalyptic mon stuff. And that's just really I'm going to say from there. But here's some kind of out there. We're going to just talk about predictions here. First off, we have Black Gato. Black Gato is if they want to weaken the SOC deck, which is Fenrir deck, a little bit. It doesn't kill the deck outright. The deck still plays fine. Nothing in the main engine is hurt. It's just their OTK potential just went down by a click. That's fine. I think restricting Black Gato to 1 makes them play something a little bit different, plays a little bit more unique. Black Gato being higher up, just because we're getting to a point where Purple just spits out bodies just because it can breathe that body, and that's becoming more and more an issue, an inherent issue than anything. So I think that's really good to take into account. Death Slinger's on here just because Ulti Cup has it on there. Do I think it's going to get hit? That's a small possibility, but I can be wrong. Ulti Cup kind of does try to test things to see where decks fall. Beelzemon definitely fell off once Death Slinger was completely out, but also what deck can keep up with blue in Ulti Cup format at the moment is very slim to none. Margins, that's a big thing. Messenger of Hope is similar to like an HPD here. So 1 cost, one of your Digimon may Digivolve into a level 6 or lower Digimon with vaccine and trade among them without paying its cost, then shuffle your security stack. If your Digimon Digivolve with the effect, you have a Tamer with TK in its name, recovery 1. So it's a very cheap climb, and the problem comes down to is that we now have some big red flags in the format, and we'll talk about those in a minute. But because we're now stepping into turbo speeding, there's no reason for like Messenger Hope to be this. It should have been, not for 1. I think this was a little bit expensive, but the fact that it's such a powerful card, I think just bringing it down to 1 is fine. I mean, you don't lose much tempo if he's at 1. Anything above that just seems a little over OP. But Vaccine isn't really doing much, to be honest with you. So I don't even know if they're going to hit the deck. So it's a want desire on a 10 to 10 scale. I would just say it's like a 4 for overly threatening. It is a scary card when you see it, but that's just something there. Analog Youth is another purple hit that you want to slow down purple. This is another card to do so. As you could see with the lists prior, they were playing Analog Youths, they were playing this, that, and in the third. You know, you had the Gurumon X, the scatter modes, you had trainings, you had memory boost. We're getting to a point where decks are too overly fine-tuned for this to be healthy, and I think that's a big thing here. But we also have to take into account we have defensive trainings. The trainings are really good. As you know, guys, me and Ben play the Peroxy format, which we play the future formats, and for a little bit now, trainings have made those decks faster, and not light faster, like Speedy Gonzalez faster, for no reason other than to be fast. The consistency boost, I do think, is really nice. I like the card in its concept. The reveal the top 2 cards, add 1 blue card among them to your hand, place the rest at the bottom in any order, then place this card into the battle area. The fact that it's reveal the top 2 cards of your deck, add any blue card. So that's Tamer, another training, a memory boost, anything like that that can just snowball in is really ridiculous. And you can start noticing that a lot of lists ended up building around these cards. They became a warping meta piece because you need these cards to be this consistent, and the deck speeds have progressed to a point where these are really overly fine-tuned. Do I think that they need to be brought down? Yes, I think 4 is too much for it. I think these fall under the category of what HPD does, basically, being able to reduce costs for basically nothing of negative value here. It costs you 2 a previous turn to gain 2. If this was a reduction cost of 1, I think this would be a lot better. But the fact that it's a reduction cost of 2 makes it so that even champions are a 0, ultimates are a 1, megas are possibly 1s or 2s, and that gets really scary pretty quickly. And I know you can't double stack them, which is good. That's like the only benefit here, but being able to climb that quickly does add up. And the fact that it's not a too far dig is a big thing, especially because you can snowball mental training, pick the mental training, and then slam it down if you were set to 2. You set your opponent to 2, boom. Now your opponent is working with 2. You have basically set up a stack. Hopefully you've got in your pieces, and then when you digivolve up next turn, if they gave you more than 2 memory, you're basically climbing to mega for very little investment. And I think that's the big thing about mental trainings, are the investments aren't always is way too good now for its value. I think the trainings coming down to 1 won't hurt too much. You'll just switch back to the memory boost, and that's all that's going to be. I think, to be honest with you, promos getting hit are more likely in the restriction. Look at Grandis getting the cannon by basically getting the axe. But Hidden Potential is a card we should probably talk about. I think Hidden Potential has overstayed its welcome. What do I mean by that? Well, this card is like green's always has to be there, always going to need to be there kind of card. Hidden Potential Discover is one of those cards that just basically snowball out of hand. Bloomlord abuses this because it can just gain all that memory back, where, you know, they had to play around with it. Now, basically, because they play so many free bodies, Hidden Potential Discover plus Bloomlord's crazy shenanigans of memory game, you end up just looking at your opponent going like, well, this costs me nothing to do all this turn and just go for town. I think even though green isn't doing much, I think restricting Hidden Potential to ban status is just a smart move, because we're going to just keep getting more and more powerful green cards, and if we get more green level 7s, it just gets scarier, and It's not because I'm too afraid of hidden potential. It's just that I've seen the craziness hidden potential does. It's like another Mega Digimon Fusion. It's free. It's not healthy for a format when you can't stop this. And you guys can claim, oh, we have the Digitop, the rookies, the blocker rookies. That doesn't stop these decks anymore. We're at a point where those things don't do enough anymore because they're so easily outed. It's not even funny. You want to put one down, your opponent's going to laugh at you and go like, well, my deck can just instantly pop that because it breathes to pop. That's the problem it's coming down to, is that these cards are good, but there's just no checks in the balances yet. And if you don't, they need to go to restrictions, because if they're not going to print a way of keeping them balanced, these cards are just overly fine-tuned. So, do I think Black Gato is? No. Do I think Messenger Hope is? Yes. But Black Gato is just if they want to go crazy. But I think we're not looking to scorch the earth. I'm looking to at least light it a little bit on fire, just so that we kind of just get to a pace that's fine. But guys, what do you think? What do you think is going to get hit? Was I on our money? And we'll have to see on Tuesday how close I was to being right, how close I was being wrong. And without further ado, stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll catch you next one. Peace!